Spend360 is a small organisation that's been formed out of a collection of subject matter experts with backgrounds in e-sourcing, auction platforms, consultancy and technology consultancy. And we've put together a proposition which helps organisations with the challenges that they face in analysing their spend with suppliers. And key to that has been the application of some technology which has removed a lot of the barriers that organisations face in this area. So the challenge there would be that normally it's labour intensive, it's IT centric, it takes a long time, and often the results aren't in a format which is usable by a category manager or a purchasing or finance person in the organisation. So Spend360 has been formed really to bring together the collection of skills that are required to address some of those issues, put together a proposition which really helps organisations analyse their costs, produce results that are actionable in a way that can be used by category managers. What makes Spend360 unique is our ability to use artificial intelligence to break down some of the traditional barriers that organisations face in analysing their spend. What that artificial intelligence capability does is it shortens the time it takes us to capture and analyse and present back to multiple stakeholders in an organisation a view of what their spend looks like. So the artificial intelligence is really there as a useful mechanism for breaking down the barriers to getting the data from multiple sources, internal and external to the organisation or across organisations. It helps in terms of the timeliness of the information that we capture and deliver back to our clients, and it makes it repeatable so that it becomes part of a programme or the fabric of what a procurement function needs to operate efficiently to avoid and control costs and risk in the supply chain. In addition to that, we're also able to support multiple stakeholders' requirements with very little or no overhead, which is helpful in terms of presenting a finance view of the data for things like payment terms and credit risks and the things that would be important to a financial controller. But more importantly, I suppose the information that we provide to category managers and to chief purchasing officers is in a language that they understand. And the ability to do that repeatedly, at a frequency which is appropriate to that particular business is, in our experience, quite helpful. The third thing I think that distinguishes us is that we have a highly personalised approach. We don't have an approach which we try and enforce on all of our customers. We can accommodate individual requirements. And so we work hard with each of our clients to personalise the deliverable to that particular organisation or that particular part of the organisation. And the fourth and final thing I think is our ability to support multiple category structures in an organisation, or to provide one if an organisation doesn't understand or doesn't have a category structure of their own. We can provide them with one, and then we can iteratively change that until it meets their needs. So we can either provide a category structure for those that don't have one, or we can give a customer their category map back in a structure that they understand, or we can personalise and accommodate different structures and sit in between. Where spend analysis is really required is in what's typically called the tail. So if organisations are familiar with Pareto analysis, they should have 80% of their spend with 20% of their suppliers. The difficulty arises often is that percentage in the tail is often a large number and could be several hundred or possibly several thousand suppliers about which very little is known. And therefore, when you're putting in place programs to help you understand and control your costs and supply chain risks, you've got a large number of suppliers to analyse in order to achieve that. So spend analysis is helpful in understanding where the next hardest cost elimination program is going to work, and the detail that we provide can support those initiatives. Almost every organisation, in public and private sector, the NHS, central and local government, most private organisations are in the unfortunate position of having to control their costs. but support multiple stakeholders in the business. And procurement particularly is in a position where it's trying to negotiate access to stakeholders in the business that drives procurement requirements, but at the same time control cost and risk. And so information is key to achieving both of those things. And so spend analysis with our solution helps purchasing people engage with stakeholders in the business by providing a common view of the data that's appropriate to that discussion. And for the procurement specific tactics, it gives data in a format that is actionable and key attributes about those 3,000 or 4,000 suppliers or 30,000 or 40,000 suppliers in the biggest of organisations. All of our clients tell us that the capability that we provided has enabled them to increase their addressable spend, that proportion of their spend with suppliers, which they can directly influence. And the benefits have come from direct as well as indirect materials and costs or input costs. And so what we'd like to do is we'd like to offer any organisation the opportunity to work with us to understand whether we can help them identify and increase the size of their addressable spend, and then work with the category managers to get on and deliver the benefits that we might identify together.